Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Now I've had my Mavic Air for a few weeks now, and I wanted to follow up to talk about, and actually just to address a common question from my viewers, and that is, what is the Mavic Air missing? So again, I like to keep everything fair. I don't want to be DJI fanboy. A lot of people accuse me of that. Even though I do feel that DJI has the best drone product on the market today, at the time of posting this video, that doesn't mean that I'm married to DJI. If there were other drone manufacturers out there, obviously, you know, I would like to play with their products too, because by doing so, if DJI had some real competition, the price of these drones should be a lot less, and it would make it a lot more accessible hobby for the masses. So, what have been the disappointments so far with the Mavic Air? Now, I'm going to keep this, again, fair and honest. So the things I really like, I like how this folds out, and just the tactile feel, the overall build quality. This feels as if it's likely a construction that will likely at least last as long as I use this drone. I mean, inevitably I'm upgrading technology, so for me to feel that I'm going to wear this out by repeatedly opening and closing before I move on to the next drone, whatever that next drone may be, I don't have any concerns there. The build quality on this is excellent. The cosmetic, a lot of people have said, hey man, that looks like a, you know, insert fancy Italian race car here. And I agree, it does, especially in the red. The red gives it a really good look. And check the link within this video's description, or go to epicdroneshow.com. You can find the Mavic Air in all the different colors and the different bundles as well. The biggest disappointment for me so far, and again, this is a big disappointment because I've been really trying to find flaws with this. The biggest disappointment has been this back door. And you've probably seen my other videos where I talked about this, but I can open it easily now, but my secret is that I keep it partially cracked, because if I close it all the way, I found that since this is made out of a hard plastic, that when I stick my fingernail in there, if I'd closed it all the way instead of just from one side, that it would be next to impossible to get open, even with a short. And again, I immaculately groom my fingernails, but even if I had long fingernails, because I neglected to take good care of my fingernails, it would still be challenging to open without a tool. I know a lot of people that said they've used a little penny, or they've used a screwdriver, but anything like that over time could potentially degrade the quality of that latch and render it unable to be opened. So for that reason, I've taken what I feel is the safest approach, and I've simply resorted to halfway closing it. There's been some people that said, hey, you know, we ripped it off all the way. It looks like this would be easy to rip off, but I'm not one that wants to modify the structural design of my drone. But if you did and it was off, that micro SD card's probably not going to eject itself unless something pushes it. So the probability of something pushing that during flight, having it not only eject but then fall out, is next. I mean, anything's possible, but it would be highly unlikely that would happen. And even if it did eject, that's my other complaint, is that when you eject this micro SD card, it's so tight here. If you've got unless you got super small fingers or super long fingernails, it's probably going to be hard to get that out without a pair of tweezers. And the other thing, if you rip this door off, the USB-C port could potentially get moisture in it over time, and I guess it could with me leaving this door partially closed. So when I close it, I'm going to start closing it on the USB-C side just to be more proactive. So that's one of the complaints. What I think they've done really well, exceptionally well, is the gimbal guard. When I see this, it's a dark color. I wish they had made it a solid, totally not transparent color, because you can still see through this, but it's dark enough to where anyone with common sense should be able to see that and say, "Hey, that doesn't look like a camera would work through something that dark." They should have made it a solid color though. What they also could have done, and several people commented about this, and one gentleman on my channel said, hey man, I got a bright colored piece of string and tied it onto my gimbal guard so I don't forget to remove it. It's easy to forget to take this off because it blends so well with the drone, and obviously if you turn it on with the drone, keep this on and then turn the drone on, it could potentially damage the camera and or gimbal assembly because it moves around during cell phone power on self-test or whatever you want to call it. So that could be problematic. Again, this should have some sort of bright color to it, maybe even a piece of string hanging off of it. Ideally, what DJI would do with the future design is that they would take this and they would put like a groove or something in it. So when it's inserted, when you're in transport and it's inserted into the drone to better protect the camera. Again, there's nothing guaranteed. This may or may not better protect the camera, but if they could come up with something. And so you got to make sure when you put this back on there, everything's properly aligned too. It's kind of, there it is. Once the front goes in, then you can snap the back. It's a very reassuring sound. But if they put a groove in there, so if this is inserted, it would disallow the power button from being depressed. I think that would be really cool because that in essence would eliminate the possibility of someone powering on their drone with the gimbal and camera protector still attached. Another mild complaint, again, minor complaint here, nothing major, these landing gear. You can see if they're up, the clearance, this is going to make, the body of the drone is going to make contact with the ground. I know that you've probably done it. I know that I've done it inadvertently. It's easy to forget once you unfold the drone to fold these down. So again, if there was some sort of design enhancement that could be made for a future model to where, you know, maybe these, I don't know. Tell me what you think. How would you eliminate, I mean, we've already talked about the gimbal protector, but what could you implement to prevent the user from forgetting to put these down? Maybe they're wired into the power button as well. And if they're not down, the drone wouldn't power on. I think that would be good. I mean, it's a super duper design. It's got some weight to it so it can handle the wind, you know, a moderate amount of wind, so that's not a concern. You know, initially when I looked at the size, I'm like, oh man, that's gonna get tossed around and stuff. But given my experience with the DJI Spark, even though I didn't really care for the Spark because it didn't have 4K and it didn't have a 3-axis gimbal, from a size and weight perspective, I at least felt that that if the Spark could handle the moderate amount of wind, that this probably could too, and it's done an excellent job. Precision flying with this thing is great. I can take it around like out here in nature right now in a safe and responsible location. I can navigate branches of trees, and again, I don't encourage people to do that because it's easy to get caught up in a branch and then break your props and or have the drone fall to the ground, and maybe it falls in the water and you completely lose it. So, you know, I don't recommend that, but with that being said, I've taken the risk with my own drone and I've captured some really incredible footage because this thing does fly in such a stable fashion. I like how they've got the air vents so that it better regulates the temperature during flight. I've never picked this up after flying and felt like it was hot. That was something with the Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro after flying got very warm. I haven't noticed that with the Mavic Air. Overall, I think DJI's hit a home run with this, and I want to see a future model that has OcuSync. Again, I fly line of sight to be safe and responsible, so the enhanced Wi-Fi hasn't been an issue for me. I've been able to fly throughout the visual line of sight range and haven't encountered any FPV or control issues. But still, knowing that it had OcuSync would be an improvement. But then again, if they put OcuSync on, would that enhance the price tag? So it may be good that it has Wi-Fi instead of OcuSync. I think the camera in a future version, if they can go with a 4K 60 with a 1-inch sensor, I think that would be cool, but I doubt we'll see that in Mavic Air, at least not anytime soon, because I have a feeling Mavic Pro 2 is going to be the drone that will bring us a 4K 60 camera with a 1-inch sensor, and they don't want to cannibalize sales of that. So, you know, they're smart. DJI, there are a lot of smart marketers. They give us just enough to where we feel like we've got to buy all the drones. But it's going to be interesting once they start to release more, and I don't know. But I mean, those are my complaints, and tell me, what complaints have you had with your drone? And one that I didn't mention, but it's because I've never encountered it. A lot of people said, man, my Mavic Air shakes. I've never had the shake never encountered the shake problem with my Mavic Air. But I have seen a lot of YouTube videos that seem to be very credible that have indicated the shaking issues. So who knows? What else have you found? Tell me within the comments. Check out epicdroneshow.com. You can find the Mavic Air, all the different colors, all the different bundles, all the other drones too. My live shows, Epic Drone Show Live. If you can't tune in live, you can always catch the previously recorded live show on epicdroneshow.com. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/IrixGuy. And stay tuned for a ton of Mavic Air and other drone videos soon too. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.